It's fun being a birder. Now here's a neat find. Woodpecker has been at work. When it's your passion, you just love doing it. It's a very easy thing to get involved with.
Tell me a little about you.
I'm Bob Holtz. I work here at the Nature Center at Wargo, part-time only. I retired from full-time work 10 years ago, actually, and I still teach a little bit at Concordia University and have this to keep busy.
What do you do here?
Mainly bird-related things, but I also help with the January through April outreach program, where we go to schools. We have 10 different animals we talk about, and we give these free presentations at the courtesy of the Connexus Energy Company. They pay for us so that we can do that. They're about 45, 50-minute presentations.
Why did you decide after retirement to continue sharing your birding expertise?
I suppose part of it's sharing, but part of it is I'm not made for sitting around. I need to keep doing things, and I'm able to, so I love it.
Yeah, you do love it. It's a passion?
It's a passion, yeah. I've been guilty of saying this was my passion and my wife is my second passion. That didn't win me any points.
I was going to say, tell me a little bit about birding, because this goes way back for you to when you were a boy.
I think the bird that got me most interested as a young child was a wood duck. I didn't know it was a wood duck at the time. I just recognized it that it was a duck, but it was up in a tree. And for me, ducks didn't go in trees when I was age 6, but I found out that they do, and just led to more interest in that area. Plus, I lived on farms all my young life, so you were always outside. Even if you were working, you were outside most of the time.
Tell me about realizing that you were a birder.
Yeah, that's something that probably grew slowly. I have 5 children, so they occupied a lot of my early married life. And probably after I moved from Albany, New York to St. Paul, Minnesota, I got more serious, started keeping lists of what you saw where, and I guess at that point you're a birder.
Is that journaling a key component for people who do it seriously?
Journaling is only that some people do it, and what I do is not journaling very much. It's mainly listing.
Okay.
You keep a list of what you saw in this county, what you saw in that county, what's your state list, what's your yard list. Some people don't bother with any lists. Some of us are addicted.
It's a good addiction, though.
Yes, it is.
But really, almost anyone, as you told me, who takes an interest in birds is a birder. Talk to me about that.
Well, I often ask people when I see them in certain settings, are you a birder? And many say no. And I say, well, you have a feeder in your backyard? Yeah. Well, you're a birder, by my definition, you know. Not by some of the purists, I suppose, but those people are birders too. The people in the United States spend, I think it's over $30 billion a year on bird-related activities. Buying a bird book, binoculars, bird seed, bird feeders, nest boxes, and that figure includes taking trips that you pay somebody to take you birding. You know. So it's a big business.
What is the fascination for you, for others in your community?
For me, I think it's mainly you never know for sure what you're going to see. I just took a group of elderly people on a walk this morning, and we were on a blacktop path, wooded marsh area around us, and a loon flew over, you know, and nobody recognized it. They all would have, they said, if it had been sitting on the water. So they had no new experience. And then a pileated woodpecker, our largest woodpecker, landed on a tree 30 or maybe 40 feet from us, which is a bit of luck to have it that close. You know.
Talk about some of your favorite unusual or you never know what you're going to see experiences that you've had over the course of your many years of doing this.
I don't know if anything jumps out at the moment, but it's just a matter of no matter where you go, there's often this unexpected bird. Of course, the counter happens though too. You think you will see such and such, and it's not there. Yeah. And when people go looking for some of the rarer things, there is a tendency sometimes to see what you want to see, even if it isn't there. So you have to be careful about that. I made that kind of mistake once, and then I realized, whoops, that's not what it is.
Is there a definition of a birder?
Um,
Any stereotype?
Well, many people consider us a little odd, you know, but when it's your passion, you just love doing it. You know, it's a very easy thing to get involved with.
If I came to you and said, why should I do this? What do I do? What would you tell me?
Why will be up to you. What you will do is you get fresh air, you get exercise, and you hopefully will get addicted to birds.
Excellent.
It's because you can get addicted, and I am.
How many species have you seen? Or have you
I am
compiled in
going
your list?
to Peru in June.
Okay.
And I think that's 19 species I need to hit 2,000. But my Minnesota list is like 337 or something like that, I think. So in Minnesota there are regularly only about 313 species, so obviously we've picked up some others. But that's not the record by any means. There are a lot of people have seen a lot more than I have. There's somebody has 400, I believe.
Do you have a favorite species? Favorite bird?
When I'm asked that, I usually say the next one I'm going to see. You know, it's, nothing sticks out that much that I would focus just on that bird.
Okay.
Although for Peru trip, I've got one in mind that's a must.
What's that?
That's a bird called the Hoatzin. It has little hooks on its wings, and so it can actually climb in trees. So that's a must to find that one.
Okay.
Find that, and the whole trip will be worth it. But I'll find a lot more than that. I went to Kenya once, and in arranging the trip with an agent in London, I picked one of his 3 choices for routes that we would take, and then I told him, I want to see birds and mammals. And then I said, how many bird species should we be able to see in the 13 days we're on the ground? Oh, he said 300 easy. He said, maybe 400. Our group saw 510 in 13 days.
Wow.
No one had them all because we were in 3 separate vehicles. But I think I had the second highest total at 484. And 410 of those were what we call lifers. A lifer is a bird that you're seeing for the first time in your life. So as you get older, lifers are harder to come by.
Yeah. Where else have you traveled to expand your birding experiences?
I've birded on 6 continents. Haven't been to Antarctica. Don't intend to go there. No. Be neat to see all the penguins, but those trips are extremely expensive if you go there.
Okay. But people don't have to leave their backyard necessarily.
No. I lived in a different place in Roseville that I now live, and I was there 29 years, and I kept a list of what I saw in the yard or overhead.
Okay.
And in 29 years, 157 species.
Any of those considered rare sights?
Not terribly rare, but a little unusual considering where we were. My last species, 157, were pelicans. Just circling overhead. Obviously, it didn't land in my yard.
Yep.
But you kind of remember those kind of species. I had a loon on the list too because it flew over, stuff like that. Once walked out and back in spring when migration was, as we might say, hot. And I think it was in 30 minutes I saw 35 species.
It's a lot of activity.
Yeah. I'm involved with a breeding bird atlas survey that started this year, and it's going to be a 5-year project where we survey every township in the state, and we have over 2,300 townships, and we'll survey the northeast quadrant, 9 square miles of every township, so we get a better idea of what is breeding where in Minnesota. Plus, probably find some things people hadn't realized were in that area. It's fun being a birder. Great passion of mine.
Passion is definitely the word. Well, there's a lot more coming up in our birding podcast series. I'm here with Bob Holtz. I'm Martha Weaver with Anoka County, and we're going to bring you all of the birding experiences from all of the Anoka County Parks.